Sister Gwen is called a child of freedom, for she grew up in an area of the country where she personally encountered what this struggle and freedom schools were all about, and she has a fabulous story that she will share with us now. Gwen, you're
Thank
on.
you. Thank you, OJ. Thank you, Linda. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all the Zoomers who are here to support this beautiful effort of Storytellers of San Diego. We are all storytellers. So several years ago, our organization, BSSD, had the wonderful opportunity to visit the Black doll collection of Deborah Neff at the Mingei Museum. And those Black dolls, our goal was to choose one of her dolls or two and tell that doll's story. If this doll could talk, what would those dolls tell you? Well, let's just see. Remind you, these dolls are from the late 1800s. So these dolls, as you see, thank you guys for sharing. These dolls here, this particular group is over 130 years old, this particular doll. She called this particular set brothers. And the reason they look glare, other than the fact that they're old, they were behind glass. So that's what my story will be about today. Here's the story of those two little boys, those two old little boys. Here is the story that they lifted up their voices and told me. You can stop sharing now, guys. Thank you. So they said many years ago, before your time, before my time, even before your time, there lived this family deep down south, and they owned a farm. It was a mother, a daddy, a father, 5 daughters, and 2 sons. Those 2 brothers. Yes, 2 brothers. Now, they had that farm and they took good care of it, and that farm sustained them, meaning it helped them out. And they saw some of the best of times on that farm, and they saw some of the worst of times. Now, the father was a very strict man. He demanded several things from his family. He demanded and commanded and exemplified, you will do your chores to help this farm prosper. You will go to school, because he was empirically sensitive and determined that those boys and girls of his would make something of themselves. So he was super involved and sensitive about them going to school. And there was a little 1-room schoolhouse down the road for colored children. You will be there and you will do your schoolwork, he said. And the other thing that dad was serious about, come Sunday morning, you will be in the church house. That was not too far from the schoolhouse. So, but the dad had a soft side to him. Sometimes he would take those little boys fishing. They were the youngest of the family. And every now and again, he would take them fishing, which they simply adored. They loved it. Well, the mother also was a disciplinarian in another sense. She made sure that those children had respect for the family, for themselves, for the community, especially for elders. She also demanded that they go do their schoolwork, that they attend school, because she too valued education, which she and her husband were not able to take full advantage of. And she was a fine seamstress. So she taught her daughters that are very art also, that they would one day might in fact be a seamstress as well, or love the art. And her mother was so good that she was able to sell her art, the art of her seamstress. She was able to sell some of her work into the local community. So, the time went on and those family members did well in farming, and sometimes was better than others. So one fine Sunday morning, the 2 boys asked their mother. It was really Joe Nathan who started it, Joe Nathan being the eldest of the 2. He said, Mama, can Willie Lee and myself, can we go on to church a little early ahead of you all? We'll just wait at the church house. So what do you, no, you can't. Mama, please, we're big enough. We're big enough. Can we just go to church? We'll wait on you there. We already finished eating. Okay, so they must have worn on her nerves. And she said, so, okay, you can go. Before she could get out of her mind, they were down that dusty road in their Sunday go to meeting clothes. They were on their way. Well, now, Joe Nathan gets this clever idea. Joe Nathan said, hey, Willie Lee, let's go fishing first before we go to the church house. Willie said, what? We can't, we can't, if we're, so wait. We are going to church. We're just gonna go in a few, we're not gonna fish very long. We're just gonna fish a little while down at the creek where Daddy take us, and then we're gonna go to church. And we will be at that church house before they get done singing that old song. And Willie Lee said, what old song? Joe Nathan said, you know that old song that they sing every Sunday morning. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross. Okay. I know the song. Let's just go. So they detoured, ran down that hill, and they said, oh yeah, they found those homemade fishing poles they stashed away, and they were commenced to getting ready to go fishing. Willie said, oh, wait a minute. Joe Nathan said, what is it now? We can't fish in these good Sunday clothes and these good Sunday shoes. We can't do what? We would get them dirty and they would get. Joe Nathan said, Willie Lee, wait a minute. Tell you what, we're going to take the clothes off. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you saw those fine clothes that the mother had made with those young little boys had on. You know they couldn't get those muddy and wet. So Joe Nathan said, we're going to take them off, and we're going to take these shoes off, and we're going to put them right over there, and then we're going to go fishing. Well, he must have convinced Willie Lee, because the next thing you know, those two little boys stripped down and up with that kind of cotton underwear. They were on that creek, just a fishing with them little homemade poles. And they tell me, hey, the fish were biting pretty good that day. They said they caught a few fish. But Willie Lee said, Joe Nathan, what is it now, Willie Lee? We better go because we're gonna be late to Mama, and then Daddy he said, just let's go. Fun. Always go. Let's just go. So they when he got the clothes, getting ready to put the clothes on, and Willie said, wait a minute. What is it now, Willie Lee? What about the fish? He said, you know what? Don't worry about the fish. Just get dressed and let's just go. So they got their clothes on real quick, and down that dusty road they run. Well, now they get to the church house and they look to the side. There's a little side door there. Joe Nathan said, let's go through that side door. So they went through the side door. He said, there's some seeds back there on the floor. Just go. So they sneaked in that church, and see, I told you, they never missed us. Let's sit over there. They probably not even done with that song yet. On a hit. No, shh, okay. So Willie Lee was not so convinced that everything was all right, because you see, he didn't see his mother sitting on that bench where she normally sit. And then folks start looking at him all strange. And he said, what in the world are people looking at us for? What did we do? Joe Nathan was thinking. Maybe because, I don't know, we got on these new clothes. I don't know. Well, the people was looking at him, and people start scooting over as they looked at him, because fish went everywhere. Fish flying over there, trying to find water, fish on the floor, fish in the back room. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the calamity and the commotion in the back of that church house that Sunday morning. I'm going to let you figure out what happened next. Well, they tell me that the walk home from church that Sunday with that family, it was really quiet. Mama didn't even sing her favorite song as she normally does down that street that day. She did not say a word. The boys didn't say anything. The sisters, the daddy, everybody was quiet. Well, now they say as a result of that calamity, of that act of bravery by those boys, that two things happened. One, they were never, ever able to walk to church alone for many years. And number two, they tell me that they needed a cushion to sit on for about a week before those boys could sit down again. They said they needed a cushion. Well, you know, the calendars flip on the wall, flip, 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 and the clock on the mantle ticks, tick, 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 tick. And before you knew it, those little boys grew up. Those little boys became men. They became prominent men. They became fine men of the community. And do you know that one summer, when those boys returned, those young men returned home to visit their parents, they brought their wives and they brought their children. Mother had a big spread, as she does. Oh, I can't even name all the food that they say. Oh, they had this and they had that, but mother was a fine cook and a fine seamstress. And in that vein, not only did they eat, but mother had something else for them. You know, she was the historian, oral tradition keeper in the family. Oh, she knew everything. And those grandchildren simply loved hearing their mother tell the stories all about that. She presented her sons with a fine, fine jacket. She said, sons, I've made something for you. She said, I want to present this jacket to you. And I do this better if I could stand and show you guys this beautiful jacket. She said, Willie Lee, this is for you, Professor Willie Lee, and Dr. Joe Nathan Thompson. I made this jacket for you. And that mother, let me just show you some of this. Look at that. What do you know? That mother had made those, her wonderful sons, Dr. Joe Nathan Thompson and Dr. Willie Lee Thompson, the most beautiful jacket. And she made sure she included the fish that didn't get away. She put those fish on that jacket for her sons. And for years and generations to come, that mother and those children and the grandchildren and her children's children told the stories of the fish who came to church one Sunday morning and had church in the church house. And they loved that story that their grandmother and their great grandmother. But the story they loved the most was the one she told about that fish and the song that she sang and that she sang to them.
Woo! Thank you, Gwen.
That is it.
You